What's going on, everybody? Good morning, happy Thursday, and we're going to be taking another day off from the draft evaluations because we got a show with the Hawks Nest starts in a few hours. So definitely tune in. We're going to be talking about the running backs of the 2025 NFL Draft. So I'll let that be the main draft evaluation content of the day, and we'll start up the videos again tomorrow. Again, we got plenty of time, so I'm not really worried about taking days where we don't have the videos go up. We'll get through everything, no problem. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and let things simmer for a day. But definitely want to get some stuff up, and it's Thursday, so it's a great day to get another mock draft going. This is going to be mock draft 12.0. So we're going to go ahead and go through it, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think. This video is powered by BetUS TV. So, mock draft 12.0 for the Seattle Seahawks. Let's take a look. And you guys know I like to try to mix it up every time. I want to come at things from a different angle as much as possible. So we're going with a guy I haven't picked at number 18 yet. It's a guy that I personally am not enamored with at 18. Matthew Golden, the wide receiver from Texas. I like him. I think that he is a first-round talent. I just don't know if I think that he is worthy of going at 18. I think it's more like a 24, 25 type situation. That being said, I don't think there's a massive difference there. I'm not interested in doing simulated trade downs in my mocks right now because then things get too convoluted and things get too easy to manipulate. And I just want to go with a draft with the native picks. So, Matthew Golden, there are some really great things about him. He's very, very fast, and we don't have a lot of speed in our receiver room right now. He's bringing a lot of nice things to the table as a player who can play outside despite not being the biggest guy in the world. And I think that he does fulfill a lot of things the Seahawks need right now. They need a downfield playmaker. They need somebody who can bring a little bit of zip to their offense that right now I think they're lacking. They're depending on their zip with Valdez-Scantling. And Valdez-Scantling he's fast, but he's not a great player. So this is not one of my favorite first round picks, but I'm close enough to thinking it's fine to probably being at least at peace with it. So Matthew Golden is my first pick, and I do think receiver is a pretty serious need here. I don't think anything on this team right now, with the exception of JSN, is a long-term solution at receiver. So if I'm thinking about the future with this team, like the near future, I'm definitely looking to add blue chip receiver talent like Matthew Golden. My first second round pick is going to be a tackle that gets converted to guard. It's Ariante Ursary out of Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. Once again, I want to stress it's really hard to tell which tackles are going to convert well to the interior and which ones won't. But Ariante Ursary, I think, has a pretty good chance of being good on both sides. He'll be a good right tackle, and he'll be a good left guard. And look, right now we need a left guard. Next year, we may need a right tackle. Who knows? So Ariante Ursary could be a guy who slides inside for 1 year, and then he goes back to tackle his second year. Or maybe the other way around. Who knows? Maybe he's the guy who slides outside if Abe Lucas gets hurt again. And maybe we have another guy that we plan on using as our left guard. So a couple different ways this can play out, but either way, you're getting a really good player in my view in Ursary. I like him quite a bit. We'll talk more about him in the near future here. But Ariante Ursary as your second round pick, I think you're doing great. Before I go any further, I want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS TV. They're doing some great things over there, and sports are popping right now. Baseball, we're in the first week of Major League Baseball. You've got hockey playoffs coming up, basketball playoffs coming up. The NFL offseason is still going with some degree of intrigue. There's draft stuff going on. So check out BetUS TV. Thank you to them for sponsoring and powering this video. Give them a shot. Enjoy the sports that the world throws at you every single day, and a place like BetUS TV can help enhance that experience. All right, so now we're going to go on to our next second round pick. Remember, we basically have two back-to-back picks here, very close. And with my other second round pick, I'm going with Mason Taylor, the tight end from LSU. So this is a tight end that could maybe even make Noah Fant somewhat expendable. I know that he doesn't have the zip or the pizzazz of a guy like a Tyler Warren, but Mason Taylor is a very good all-around tight end. He brings a lot of positive things to the table, doesn't take a lot off of it. And in my view, this team, even if Noah Fant is here in 2025, they're going to need a new tight end very soon here. I don't think Noah Fant has any real chance of being here next year. And I'm thinking about the long term right now. I'm trying to get the best players I can. Even if Mason Taylor has a very, very minimal role to play in 2025, I'm not worried about it. I'm thinking about what's he going to do for me beyond 2025. And I think Mason Taylor can be a great player in this league. And I think he can add a lot of value to a Seahawks team in 2026. Him and AJ Barner would be a nice 1-2 punch going forward at tight end. So that's my other second round pick. Then in the third round, I'm going with a safety here, Andrew Makuba of Texas. A couple of Texas Longhorns in my top 100 here. And Makuba, I remember when he popped on the map actually a little more than a year ago a year and a half ago for Clemson. And his big draw was his incredible speed. He was like a 4.3 speed guy at safety. Clemson, we didn't really see stuff, but this year he went to Texas and we're starting to see it, right? His tape is really good and his intangibles are good too. His traits are good. There's a lot to like with Makuba. I think that he has earned his elevation to top 100 status, and I think that he is going to go somewhere around this third round area, and I think it'd be great to pick him up. Definitely somebody I think McDonald would have a lot of fun working with, and we need backup safeties right now, and we need starters down the line. And then we have one more day, round 3 pick. I'm taking Savion Williams, wide receiver out of TCU, a guy that we met with, a guy that clearly we would have some interest in, a guy who is a little bit of a physical phenom. He's big, he's fast, he has some DK Metcalf-like potential to be that big, fast guy that shouldn't really exist in the world. So I think that Savion Williams has a low floor. There is a scenario where he ends up being not much more than a gadget player like a Cordarrelle Patterson, but there is an immense ceiling here. If he can figure out the nuances of the receiver position, if he can become a more sure-handed player, then I think he can be very, very special in the NFL. So low floor, but very high ceiling for Savion Williams. He's a worthy third-round pick in my book. So that finishes up the top 100. And we got a fourth-round pick of Jamari Caldwell, nose tackle out of Oregon. So we needed a nose tackle. I ignored it in the first 2 days, but we're coming back around here, and we're picking up Jamari Caldwell in the fourth. I've talked a lot about him over the last couple of months. Really fun player, really active. Plays a little out of control sometimes, but he offers some spice as a pass rusher as well as being a good run stuffer. So good all-around stuff here from Jamari Caldwell. I like him. And I think that he would really bring the room together on this defensive line. Yeah, Kenneth Grant would make it elite right off the bat, but Jamari Caldwell would be adequate. He would allow Byron Murphy to spend more time at a natural position for him, and he would allow the other guys on this defensive line to really eat. I don't think he would be himself dominant, at least not at first, but he would be good enough. Okay, bumping on down to the fifth round here. I'm taking a linebacker, Teddy Buchanan, the linebacker out of California. I will talk more about him in the near future here, but bottom line is the Seahawks do have some need for depth at linebacker. They don't really have any right now. I think their third linebacker right now would probably be what? I don't even really know who it would be at this point. It's not going to be the guy they got from the Raiders a couple years ago. I think he's gone now. And even if he's not, we haven't seen anything from him yet. So I don't know why we would expect anything out of him now. And I think going cheap at the backup linebacker spot is probably the right idea. So Teddy Buchanan would be a guy. Another fifth round pick, I'm going to Mello Dotson. I spoke about him at length a few days ago when I was making my cornerback videos. Big, slow, good in zone cornerback. Definitely worth development in McDonald's system. I think he could be pretty good in McDonald's scheme. I think that Dotson could be very effective as long as you don't put him in situations where he's got to cover and man, where he's got to chase players around. I think he can be good. I know people would prefer his teammate in Kansas, Kobe Bryant, but Mello Dotson, I think, could work in the right situation in the NFL. I know it's a little atypical, but give the man a chance. I think that he can find an unconventional way to be good in this league. All right, then I'm going to my 7th round pick here, and I'm going with Jake Majors, center out of Texas. I'm starting to think he'll go a little higher than this, but got to get another Texas player on the board right here. Ended up with 3 of them. Just a coincidence, I assure you, but Jake Majors going to be a good backup center. I'm not really seeing anything with Jalen Sundle that I'm that interested in keeping around. And Majors is somebody who I think fits the scheme, even if he does have some physical limitations. And I do think that Jake Majors would be a workable backup. And I'm sorry I couldn't do a little bit better at the center position in this mock. Like, we are looking at a scenario where Oluwatimi's starting, but Majors, I think, would be a little bit more intriguing as a backup than Sundle. Final pick is going to be Jordan James, running back out of Oregon. Going to talk about him a little bit more in a few hours in the stream with the Hawks Nest. By the way, again, please check that out. He's a very, very good third down back that is a little bit lacking in some of the areas that you would look for a true playmaker. But I like his low center of gravity. I like the way in which he attacks his assignments in blocking. And I think that he could be a real weapon on third down. All right, that's it for my mock draft. Let me know what you guys think. That is Mock Draft 12.0. Again, every mock draft I do is trying to come at things in a slightly different angle. Eventually, we'll start looping around, but that's 12.0. Let me know what you think. See you guys later. Go Hawks.